nobody's getting out of here alive. On Sunday, Fox News host Maria Bartiromo decided to appear on Fox and Friends in the Morning, where she told Brian Kilmeade that this spike in COVID numbers that we're seeing is absolutely a good thing for Donald Trump, and her logic behind it is absolutely behind it. Here's the quote.
It's such an important point, Brian. I agree. You look at Europe right now, Paris is on lockdown, France on lockdown, you've got Germany on lockdown for another month. Here's the deal. Voters in America do not want to see the economy locked down. When you look at the groups that are high-income groups, they don't want any more lockdowns. They think it's pretty obvious to many people that we need to adapt to this new normal for a little while until a vaccine is widely distributed. And I think that's also helping President Trump, because he says, look, yes, we've got a spike in cases, but we're living with it.
Horrid little thing, you explain yourself quickly. The last thing I wanted to give away my position. That much I was aware of, and I knew Secunda would assign the Times to be sure. But if you're to do the deed that Karunk is truly too cruel to kill them, and the fight is yours,
the president is actually moving forward, adapting to this new normal. I think it's
Take this
resonating.
weapon.
All right.
Use it to inflict the
Yeah,
careful.
it's totally a good thing for Donald Trump that everybody's
I
getting
have yet
sick,
to become very well.
because nobody wants to have a lockdown again, so being sick is good, because you don't want a lockdown. And you can't have a lockdown if everybody's sick and locked. I told you her rationale for it's going to blow your mind. And I don't think that was an understatement. It made no sense. Like, her reasoning there, her line of thinking, that train of thought derailed, and there were no survivors. I don't know. I honest to God can't figure out what exactly she's trying to say here. Like, it's good that the numbers are up because people don't want to be locked down. Okay, well, what does that have to do with? It would be the numbers going down. No, because numbers going down would be a good thing. If the numbers were going down and we're not locked down, then that would be good for the people who don't want to lock down, and that would be good for the president. We'd be back on track. No. Oh, Maria. What are you doing? What are you saying? Give us some kind of hint, okay? Please. Get on Twitter, write an article if you can. I don't know, but do something to try to explain your thought process a little bit better, because it makes no sense to us. But perhaps to somebody who doesn't think rationally, who only gets little bits and pieces of Fox News fed into their ears, sure, I'm sure that made total sense, and you're sitting here watching this thinking, how does he not get it? I know exactly what she's saying. No, you don't. Nobody does. She doesn't. This is the reality in which we live. Folks, it is not good for anybody that COVID-19 numbers are going up, except, of course, the billionaires. The billionaires are doing great. The billionaires are making more money than ever. Why? Because those big box stores, Amazon too, it's about the only places people can save and shop, because they can do delivery, or they can do curbside pickup. It's a lot harder to do that with the local mom and pop store right around the corner when everything else around them is closed. Kind of hard to do. That's why the billionaires are doing so great. But let's hit on another point here too, because it's not just about the billionaires are loving it. Let's go back to the lockdown issue. She says people don't want a lockdown. Look at Germany. They're protesting over there. Yeah, we had idiots protesting over here too. But while those idiots were protesting, do you know what the poll numbers were showing us? 75% at a low point. 75% of Americans wanted the lockdowns. They wanted the shutdowns. People were actually supporting it. You know, as recently as August, okay? This isn't like, oh, back in March. No. This was a month and a half ago. people were saying, yeah, guys, we need to shut down. We need to stay shut down. Why? We don't need to reopen. We don't want to send our kids to school because it's not safe, because they don't have the resources they need. Nobody wanted to reopen yet. What we wanted was to stay safely shut down. The government that was going to protect us. You have some European countries that committed, and Canada as well, that committed to sending thousands of dollars to every citizen, each one, throughout the entirety of the pandemic. So that way, staying at home, working from home, or even if you had to lose your job because your business had to temporarily shut down, you would be taken care of. You would have a few $1,000s a month to get you by, so that it wouldn't be that bad. And that way, when the pandemic passed, everybody could reopen. You get your job back, but you didn't go destitute. You didn't die in the process. That's what we wanted here in the United States. That's what we could have had. But instead, we sent billions of dollars back to an airline industry that gets bailed out every decade and a half-ish, because they're run by the biggest morons on the planet. Always have been. We bail out the oil industry. We bail out industry after industry after industry that pulls in billions of dollars a year. Americans got a one-time check of $1,200 all the way back in April. And even that was screwy because they couldn't figure out how to get the system to work at first. We were failed by our government. And now these idiots on Fox News want to tell us that no, you never wanted to be shut down in the first place. We're doing this for you. We're spreading the virus for you. Bull. You could have given us stimulus. We could have all stayed home. We could have locked our doors, ordered groceries, had them dropped off at our doorstep, waited this thing out, and we could have been the envy of the world. But instead, as usual under Trump, we're the laughingstock.
The gods showed us a vision of a new life. They gave us the power to commit. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, upgrade to the Gold Edition and get the system pass.
Join drivers.
Drivers like me.
With me.
22 protects the enemy. Drivers like me continue working as independent contractors.
By a far margin, drivers want to stay independent. 22 provides new benefits like healthcare, earning,
Tax and insurance.
Join me and hundreds of thousands of app-based drivers in voting yes. Yes on Prop 22.
Lindsey Graham, Republican senator up for re-election this year, has held a seat forever. He's facing an uphill battle. Yeah, it's an uphill battle that ends one way or another tomorrow. So, the last day or so, we've been in the final hours, technically, of these campaigns. And Lindsey Graham, knowing that his opponent has outraised him, I think, by almost double what Graham has pulled in, seeing that the polls are neck and neck, the race is now considered a toss-up. Lindsey Graham went out there, spoke to a small crowd yesterday, a crowd that Donald Trump would absolutely mock if a Democrat pulled in that kind of crowd, and reverted back to the old Republican staples. Right? When you had nothing else to do, what do? Well, you attack women's rights, of course, and you bring back the culture war. Here is Lindsey Graham's final pitch to the voters of South Carolina. Take it.
I want every young woman to know there's a place for you in America if you're pro-life. If you embrace your religion and you follow traditional family structure, that you can go anywhere, young lady.
That's right, ladies. If you want to be a part of society, if you want to be accepted, if you want to be accepted in society, barefoot and pregnant, standing in the kitchen, making food. Traditional Christian family values. So says Lindsey Graham, the guy who coincidentally is not married. I wonder why Lindsey Graham can't attract a woman with that kind of thing.
From Reb, do I even have to ask?
I wonder why they're not
Does
just
the war
lining up,
change?
throwing
It
themselves
was
at
said
Lindsey
the gods
Graham.
would call their
And
champion
I'm not
for
trying
your
to
role
imply
in
anything that
now my
others have
forces
implied.
can
I'm
put the
just
rest
saying,
of the
when you have
journey
those
to the
kind of
spear and
backwards, thoughts about women. It's kind of
I
hard
owe you
to
much for
find one
killing
that's
Grump
willing to say,
Beckett.
oh, you know what, I'll throw all
So
my
I
values
will
away
do
to
as
be
you
with this
say.
man who thinks I should have no rights.
Now I will take you
But
to the
folks, what we're
henge.
witnessing here is actually, this is a good case study of Republicans in general. This is what those Republican rats do when they're backed into a corner. And that is what Lindsey Graham is. He is backed into a corner. So he falls back on those old Republican staples. Women should be home and in the kitchen, and they shouldn't have any rights. And no, if you don't do that, you're not a traditional family. I'm a traditional family man, even though I don't have a family. I'm so traditional. Look at me. Love me. I'm just like you. We have South Carolina Southern conservative values. Don't let the other man take those away. Vote for me. Lindsey Graham has no values, by the way. He is not pro-life. Lindsey Graham would send every single troop we have enlisted in the U.S. military overseas to die just because Lindsey Graham loves war so much. I mean, I remember when Lindsey Graham was running for president back when we were watching those 2015 presidential debates. Every single question Lindsey Graham was asked, whether it was about the economy,
Here,
if it
Becky.
was about the
This
environment,
artifact, it
no
may
matter
be
what it was about, Lindsey Graham would
uncomfortable.
bring up terrorists overseas, and we got to take them out. He absolutely drove every single thing back, because I wrote about it at the time. He drove everything back. Terrorists are bad. We gotta go take them out. We gotta send our troops over there. Let's get them. Well, sir, you were asked about the minimum wage. Well, I'll tell you who doesn't have a minimum wage: Al Qaeda. See, I mean, that was an extreme example, but that's the kind of thing Lindsey Graham does. He doesn't know very much about things. Sorry, Republicans, but he doesn't. If Lindsey Graham had been running in any state that's not South Carolina, or Kentucky probably,
And here you have it.
we wouldn't know who
Idilla.
he is. He wouldn't
A
exist in
great
the world of
failure.
politics.
He may hide from our people's
He's got that
needs,
southern twang,
but he will very
got
well.
that southern charm. He's able to sweet talk voters with absolutely nothing. But from the looks of it, voters in South Carolina are starting to wake up. They
Mind
understand
your
that
step
Lindsey
here,
Graham has
Becky.
nothing to offer them
I
except
wouldn't
for
want the
backwards ways
colossus.
of
It is
thinking.
not here by
Wanting to
suffice it
take
to
the
say
United
that this
States
was
back to the
very well.
1930s in more ways than one. That's what you get with these Southern Republicans. They're not actually going to do anything to help you. Oh, and believe it or not,
You must be the Becky.
even when they have the authority to do so, they're not going to do anything about those culture war issues that they love to drum up to get you all mad and vote for them. I mean, George W. Bush's
Beyond
big
these
thing was let's
stairs
get
is,
rid of
I must
abortion.
warn you, but I think his answer
Get a
has finally
Republican.
arrived.
White
Farewell.
House, Senate, House, Supreme Court. He put 2 justices up there. Do you know how many times they made abortion illegal? None. Because Republicans they can't actually achieve that goal. Because if they achieve that goal, what are they going to run on in the future? I wish more people would wake up to that. And to be honest, to a certain degree, Democrats are kind of the same way. They know that it's really, really difficult, even for conservative judges, to overturn an established precedent like Roe versus Wade. Just because conservatives have the majority doesn't mean they're actually going to have the opportunity or the will, I guess we should say, to actually do that.
And though the path be full
Really
of
just
tribulation,
can't.
not such were the
You can do
words
some
the
things. Yes, I'm not saying women's rights couldn't be curtailed. I'm just saying both sides use this issue to scare people. And that's what Lindsey Graham, in effect, is doing right now. Because he has
With you,
nothing.
the gods can bear witness.
Graham
The
has
wreath of
no
absolution
ideas. Lindsey
first.
Graham has no plan
Golden
for
prayer, the
America.
last.
Lindsey Graham is out for Lindsey Graham.
Wreath of
And I hope the people of
absolution.
South Carolina realize that. What else I want you to do? I want you to look back at the last 15 years of your lives with Lindsey Graham serving as your senator, or however long he's been serving, and think to yourself, what single thing has he done in that entire time that actually benefited your life?
Get your vote by mail ballot. You can stay healthy and fill it out from the safety of home.
Then track it to confirm
You
your county
return.
got it.
Where?
See?
The
They got
Primos has not
Mail
graced
ballots
the
are the
ears of his
simple,
subjects
safe,
in
and secure way
ages.
to ensure
What
that
has he
your
said to
vote is
you?
counted.
A fluke driving
The
accident the
circlet
day
of
before my
our
high school
case.
graduation left me
And
completely paralyzed.
Anacletus expects
My
me to
stem cell
lead you
treatment helped
to
me move
it.
my arms again.
Very
On
well.
14,
As I
continue to
cannot
help millions of
refuse the
people who have
Primos,
serious
I will
injuries and
lead very
diseases.
well.
Please vote yes on 14. Thank you.
Over the weekend, a story emerged about Donald Trump most likely declaring a premature victory on election night. also, for what it's worth, they're also going to have a massive indoor, probably maskless party at the White House, ready to go for Donald Trump's victory, because this man is convinced nothing can take the presidency away from him. Now, behind the scenes, things are a little bit different. And I will get into his decision to declare premature victory in a moment, but I do want to talk about something else he said. And this got kind of glossed over in all of these stories. He said, as soon as the voting stops, our lawyers are ready to go in. They will have their lawyers ready to deploy, is what he said. Trump said this. So here's what he's going to do. He is going to go ahead and declare the premature victory, because that is going to tell his base he won. They're not going to look at the numbers. They're not going to think that he is lying to them. They're going to think that he's being honest and that the entire thing is finished and that he won. At the same time that he has convinced his followers he has won, he's going to be having his little party, and all of his lawyers, the Republican lawyers, are going to go out there and start filing the suits to have the voting stop, or the counting stop. That's what the lawyers are for. Now, he can't just sue because he doesn't like the results of the election. But if they're still counting votes, if you still have votes coming in from overseas, which is what happens mostly with military members, by the way, military, this man doesn't want your vote to count. You still want to waste it on him? Anyway, he and his lawyers are going to be arguing that this has to stop. We have to know on election night who is the victor. And as I pointed out last week, this could literally go either way. If Trump is not ahead on election night, and he stops the counting, if they're successful in that, you've just cost yourself the White House. So instead, his lawyers are going to have to switch it up and argue, no, keep counting, keep counting, keep counting. Oh, God, don't ever stop counting. But you've already had your Supreme Court thrown out in some states that are not allowed to keep counting. Like, you've screwed yourself on that. That's a swing state. So, on that. The point is, every vote should count. Every vote should be counted. And because we can't trust our voting systems, some places have super high tech that's easily manipulable, or other places are running with technology from the 1800s. Not exactly a fast way to do this. So, it is what it is. It's going to take some time. We may not have a clear winner on election night. But that's not the most likely scenario, folks. I know everybody on social media is talking about, we may not know a winner for everybody. That is the most extreme scenario. And it's considered the most extreme because it's the least likely to happen. So relax. I know everybody's trying to tell everybody, hey, it could be bad, everybody be on guard, and you should be on guard. You really should. And it could be hell tomorrow. Could also be, oh, okay, that's the results. We don't know. We won't know. But the biggest issue we're going to have is Trump with his premature victory declaration. And he's going to do that to convince his base that no matter what happens from that point out, even if we're looking at the results coming in and Trump is getting just blown out and Biden has, over 300 electoral votes before 6 p.m., Trump would still declare victory, and his idiot base, the cult members, would believe it. They'd be like, no, he won. He said he won. He wouldn't lie to us. It's not like he's done it more than 20,000 times over the last 4 years. Nope, none of that ever happened. He's telling us the truth. The media is lying. Trump's president. Biden's illegitimate. Let's take to the streets and be violent. That's what will happen. That's why he is doing this. That's Trump's motivation. To convince his base that no matter what happens, he won. He wants them to get dangerous. We'll have to wait and see if they listen.
You should have seen him in a ball gown yesterday.
I wasn't here yesterday. Now I'm curious about the ball gown.
I'm not in a ball gown.
Really? You were wearing a ball gown?
She was going to a gala yesterday.
That's gotta be the most fancy anyone's showed up to Jake.
Hey, look at that, a ball gag with a ball gown?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can do it for you.
Alright, see, next time on JK News. Patreon exclusive. Gio is in a ball gag with a ball gown.
You're in the ball gag with the ball gag.
Fine.
What if we all have ball gags on?
Oh, I'm down.
Except for the host. And then Tip would love it. Tip would be in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where's she?
Just
Yeah,
yet.
I guess so. Alright, so Walmart is thinking about pulling guns and ammo from the stores that you play.
This morning because of how we unrest.
My friend just shared it.
Shit.
So yeah, so basically the election's coming
Keep
up.
close.
I don't know if this
There are
video's
worse
gonna come
things than
out
marauders in
after
these
or before
lower
the election.
towns.
But
They have
if
lurked
it,
these
you know,
walls
but
for
as of today,
decades,
it's,
raised
we're like
along with the
literally
city years ago.
4 days, 5 days, 4 days away from the election.
Was it November 3rd or 2nd?
Third.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday. But anyways, a lot of people are anticipating some sort of civil unrest, regardless of who wins, and like tensions with this whole political thing
There.
has,
That is
you
the
know,
artifact you
not
see.
diminished
The circle
whatsoever in
has
the
to
course of the
go.
last 4 years.
After COVID toilet paper, I'm getting all kinds of shit for this. Just because of that. It was crazy.
True. I stockpiled on
No
beans.
one
They
comes
last a long
down here
time.
anymore. It is
police
left
officer
to
friend,
ruin,
and then
for the
their chief
colossi
already told
have
the whole
no more
department
need of
whatever
these holes.
family
or those
events you have
interred
planned for
within them.
November and Thanksgiving,
How
just go
many
ahead and
years
cancel
did-
everything.
Really?
Everything like
And our friend was like, ha ha, joke's on you, I ain't got family.
yeah, they're expecting it to be crazy, so they're like, we just need everyone on standby.
Yeah, everyone in downtown, like our downtown right now, like they're all prepping their shops. Like they're cutting up boards and
Oh,
stuff
really? For riots?
just in case.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was on Instagram. I saw Phil. Phil just had his birthday from Ofu.
Oh, cool.
Happy birthday, Phil.
No happy birthday.
Okay, belated birthday.
Sad birthday.
Sad birthday. Yeah, but he was celebrating, but you know, people were outside like setting off fireworks and like in the street. Oh, man, you know what? Maybe they were celebrating because it could have been
It was a Dodger win.
Dodgers thing or something.
Or his birthday.
Maybe it was. Maybe they were just always celebrating his birthday. But the point is, yeah, like LA is.
A lot of Wong Fu fans in LA, apparently. Like the Dodgers won.
Yeah.
You prick.
You know, I was totally wrong with that. You're right. You're totally right. But yeah, so Walmart is thinking about pulling guns and ammunition off the sales floor. Basically, they're thinking, you know, people might come in and steal and just start, you know,
that's
You don't even
dangerous.
have guns at LA Walmart, though. Any Walmarts in LA?
Yeah.
True. Yeah. We don't.
They're talking about the other ones, right?
yeah, they're across
Like
the
in
nation.
Fresno or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
across the nation.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
so
whole nation is affected. It goes from here to Fresno, really. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So yeah, Walmart is actually one of the major sellers of guns and ammunition, which I didn't know. I just thought Walmart was just a retailer store, but apparently a lot of people go to Walmart specifically for guns and not.
They got good prices.
And they got good prices. Dang. So and
There's a road back on this Desert Eagle. It's because they're so huge. It's like Amazon that they can buy them in bulk and they can sell it way cheaper than everybody else. So you get some good shit for like, you know, a couple bucks off.
I got cheap ammo at Walmart.
Yeah, Apple's cheap. Everything's cheap. But
I've never gone to
Are you looking to have
the
your-
guns side of Walmart.
Well, the LA ones don't have
Repair?
No, even in Texas, like
Well,
I've never
well.
gone over there because, like, I don't know, like for me, like as a
Welcome to
kid,
the
I always
Idilla
thought
Market.
guns were scary and bad. And so like I was like near the gun area, I was like, I'm gonna go to the bright and colorful toy section over there. Peace
it's
out.
next to this fishing area.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna buy my gun store after JK today and just see if there's a line, because that would tell me a lot.
There probably would be.
Yeah, because pre-COVID, just before they shut everything down, there was a line going fucking a lot.
Yeah, every gun store is crazy. They were showing it all over the news.
And there was no ammo anywhere.
Yep.
But
That's why people just need to move into Mexican neighborhoods.
True. You know the crazy.
Why? What's in there?
Because what happens during like protests and stuff, Mexicans, they get the hot dogs ready.
We know how to turn a profit.
They're just like, oh shit, there's gonna be some civil unrest.
Well, they're gonna be hungry from all that protesting, right? Foot traffic, fucking getting all the car training. Every time I was out to fucking protest, because I used to live in downtown LA, right? Yeah. Every single time there's like some kind of like activism or whatever, like gay rights or whatever, right? There's a ton of Mexicans just ready with the bacon hot dogs.
Sometimes they're Guatemalan, right?
Do you think protesters are like, oh shit, I need to eat cash first?
Yeah, they got fucking yeah, like what do you call it? Cash app. Oh yeah, okay. That's right. Yeah, they're smart. Yup, and I'm like, man,
No onion, no justice.
Do you see any armor in my...
I said only mustard.
how much is that cactus?
But yeah, fun fact, 5 million Americans bought a gun for the first time in 2020.
Stop you approve
5
of?
million.
5 million. That tells you how crazy
have
2020
nothing to
is.
do.
Like people that never had guns
I
decided
have
that this was the year that they need to have a little protection and
I was in
whatnot.
line with
People that are against guns, this is like the worst nightmare year.
They probably are in line now, getting a gun.
They're probably like, oh shit, I might need it. Exactly. No, I know people who are like, who've been the biggest anti-gun people who are like, I'm thinking about getting a gun.
And I know 40% of that number is first-time gun buyers too.
That's
So
scary.
almost half of it is the first time they're just like, I don't know what's going on this year. We need to go and buy something.
I was in line with those people because they couldn't believe that you can't just walk into a gun store and buy a gun immediately, and they were fucking yelling at me. So you can't hear Yeah, well, no, it's a 14-day wait from the justice department.
Even Walmart's like that. If you go to Walmart,
California.
put your name down, and then 10 days later you get the
It's so
gun.
funny that the same people that are like, we need more fucking rules because people shouldn't be able to just walk in and buy a gun, and then they go in and they can't just walk in and buy a gun, and they're like,
What the fuck?
I need it now!
10 days?
But the riot's happening now! I need it!
But you put these in, you put it in practice, bro.
We're so fucking dumb.
Some like Vice journalist did that like a year ago. They were like, apparently you can't just walk in and buy a gun. It's like, no shit, people who own guns know that already.
And then the only people that say this lie are the politicians that are trying to put more restrictions on guns. They lie to the people and just say, yeah, it shouldn't be the law. It should be against the law to
It's
just
not the
walk in and
laurels
fucking
of
buy
the
a
Greeks
gun
are not
whenever you want.
crafted.
Well,
I take it you have a chaotic cult to prove to the gods the righteousness of our soul.
Legally. It's illegal. But yeah, there's a bunch of people who just got it done.
But some states you can also just go in and buy it too.
Oh, there's a huge black market.
Hunting rifles is not the same as a handgun in a lot of places.
Right, yes. That's actually interesting that you brought that up because I learned that back in the 90s at some point, Walmart they actually stopped selling handguns at Walmart. So they only had hunting rifles and rifles of all sorts. And then back in 2015 or something like that, they stopped selling assault rifles or whatever. And so there's a lot of, I don't know the differences, yeah.
Oh, I'm like, what the fuck is an assault rifle?
AR is not an assault rifle.
There's technically no assault rifles for sale. This is
The rifles have been used for.
It's just like this. Okay, so this is the difference, right? It's a way
I'm in need of medical
propaganda. So for example, this is a
I
sword.
know the healing.
Okay, it's a samurai sword, but it looks scary. So it's an assault sword. Let's say you have another one, right? Same thing, same mechanism, but it's now this is a historical display sword. It's different. One's scarier than the other one. This one, it does the same fucking thing. And that's
So is that one not sharp?
no, it's really sharp. Dude, that's the issue with the whole assault rifle thing. They're like, oh no, the hunting ones are cool, but these scary looking ones that look military style, those are assault. They do the same exact thing.
They put a bullet into something.
On a
They
potter's
function
left
like
among
one
us,
thing.
and the
There's a
citizens are
magazine
all.
that you can load
This
up
act
into it,
seems
like
small to
it's the
you,
same.
It's semi-auto, so you have to pull for each trigger unless you got a bump stock, which they just outlawed. So it's
When it's automatic, is that when they say, okay, now this is the bad guy, this is the assault.
Yeah, but automatic rifles are illegal.
yeah, they have been
They
since like
banned
the
in
90s.
the 80s. Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah.
Some of the arguments I hear then are, yes, those are banned, but then they're like, well, why do you need such firepower? Like, because some of these have, like, different, like, the bullets will do X amount of damage depending on the size of the bullet.
Because I don't know you.
I don't know how strong this dude is.
What are you talking about? I mean, unless somebody's not trying haven't breaking into my house. I don't know them.
But that's like questions like that to me. It's you're not looking for a solution. You're looking for an argument.
To be right.
Because it's almost like, why do you need more than 10 gallons of gas on your car? Why does it have to be 20 gallons? Right. You're just like arguing the hypothetical now. You know?
Right, because they can't fathom the idea of like, well, you might have 5 guys that come in to do a home invasion robbery, right? And they're like, well, I have 10 bullets. That's 2 bullets per person. I don't need more than that. It's like, how do you fucking know if you don't train? How do you fucking know if you don't even train people miss shots, right? Or like, there's so many different things where it's based off of people who don't know shit about what they're talking about. It's like, if I don't know how a car works, if I don't really know how to drive that well, why am I gonna make laws about cars? And I think those arguments of like, oh, why can't we just have the little bullets and why do you have the big bullets? Those are coming from people who have no fucking clue of how this mechanism works or what.
You should have a flintlock rifle that you have because that's what they said when they were doing the Constitution.
Well, the hunting ones are completely fine. The hunting ones are okay, but like the ones that are scary and assault.
Like you said, during a home invasion, which by the way happens all the fucking time, especially during COVID, they've gone up, and many people have successfully defended themselves using these weapons that we're talking about.
Yeah.
These scary ARs.
Evacuations.
But that's what sucks, right? Is that we have these politicians who kind of pander to this group of people and they fearmonger, and they do a disservice because they basically play with stupid. They're not even talking about guns in the way where it should be talked about. They're just kind of spreading fear.
But this is
How
what
do you decide how they should be talked about? Because, okay, so you said it's people who just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. What if it's people who are just against death? Where it's like, have a gun if you feel like you need protection. Someone's breaking in your house, fire in the air, they run away. That's what people think. Why do you need to fucking murder everybody who broke into your house? What if they were just trying to steal some shit and they weren't trying to murder you? I don't know. That's not my argument. I'm asking you.
Right. Totally right. There is truth. I mean,
but I don't know that. That's my whole argument. I don't know what
I
the
actually
intention
agree
is.
with the idea of less force, right? Like if you could use martial arts to take somebody down, for sure. If you can use, like the last resort is going to be murder.
But how do you know they're there to take shit and not to rape your wife?
That's the
my whole thing.
So that's the point is that they don't show up and go, yeah, this is what I'm going to do right now, just so you know. So it's unrealistic because the people who are throwing these hypotheticals, they've never been in dangerous situations. They've never trained in any type of combat. They don't understand any of these things because these questions don't come from people who's been in war, law enforcement, any type of aggressive and violent situation, because they come from minds of people who can't even understand violence. They'll be like, well, if he's just coming in to like steal your shit, you could be like, yeah, go ahead, take it. But like, what are you gonna do? You don't even have the minute to be like, hey, are you gonna, yo, we're cool, right? Like, you're not gonna stab me. Like, I know you got a knife in your hand, but like, yo, you could just take this. How do you know that that guy's not on fucking crack and he's like, you're a demon and I'm gonna cut your throat, I don't care about your money.
Yeah. How do you know that guy's not having his wife dying and he needs somebody to call and there's nobody? You don't know anything.
Yeah,
so I think people are like, why is that the solution when it could be this or this or this? And when it comes to the fucking AR-15s and shit like that, where you just sweep the motherfucker.
It's not sweeping a motherfucker though, because when you have an AR-15, you have to pull. You can't just pull the trigger down and go like that's. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah. So it's not.
I think the actual solution that most like people that support the Second Amendment, what they're trying to advocate for is you just being responsible for your own safety.
Yeah.
That's all they're really. That's so for them.
I agree.
Yeah. So for them, it's like if someone comes in, statistics show that neighborhoods that are more armed, there's just less crime. Because people know you can't really fuck around here. Yeah. In the neighborhoods where there's hella gun control, there's a lot of crime. Because people fuck around a lot. So I think for people target old people. Yeah, so I think for them, they're just saying, like, being responsible for your own safety. It's the worst case scenario if you have to shoot a bad guy down. But at the end of the day, your safety is still in your own hands if you have to do it if you must. That's the thought.
I mean, I feel that way too. Like, I'm definitely not against guns. I feel like everybody is because of what you said. And it should be open to the so they know. I got this shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like,
once she
there's so
spoke
many
of a
instances of
destiny
people
and
not taking down a bad guy.
Yeah, we're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Not the guy that got killed. The guy with the gun. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So it's like, I get why there is even an argument. I just feel like nobody's taking the time to think of the actual solution.
That's a lot for background checks. Background checks, 14 days. That ain't shit. Well, no, of course not. It's not the first time offender, but at least we can do a better job. But if you get rid of
Feel
now you have
Balon's
and
embrace.
somebody's been pissing you off, and you just have a bad day. Like, give me something option now. You're not giving me an option. That's like,
what do you do?
One that is at the city's heart.
Fucking psychics who think that was going to be doing it before it happens.
That's why
You have a strike force.
if there's going to be protests and a crazy riot, protests turning into riots,
They showed us that we should be doing this with our hands on the screens.
That's why it's one of those topics in just our culture specifically that's so complicated because it's not just one thing. Like, it's not just for hunting, it's not just for self-protection, it's not just for, because we have the right of assemble a militia in case of a tyrannical government. There's multiple reasons and there's different purposes, right? It might be for defense. It might be a way of life, like someone who's in the hills who needs a gun in order to hunt, so because he needs his protein, and they don't go to the market. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different reasons, and there's like even lifestyle culture. Like in the city, we tend to be less gun friendly because the population is so dense, and we don't have space for all the rifles and shit, right? And it's a different kind of like lifestyle than being in a country where like a gun is a good tool.
Well, they also, if you're calling the cops from the country, it's going to take an hour.
Right, and you gotta protect your own place, and there might be crazy guys that are like just doing road trips, kill sprees. You don't know, right? So I think because it's so complicated like that, it's one of those things where it's so difficult to solve, and it sucks because it's already something that we're born into. Like, we're born into this society with millions of fucking guns out there already.
400 million guns.
Yeah, so when people are just like, just get rid of them, it's like, shut the fuck up, you naive.
It's not realistic to get rid of the legal ones. Exactly.
Yeah!
And just to close out the video, like speaking about the person we were talking about, like this guy's just having a really bad day and his gun is an option. There's also millions of other options. He can take a knife to his neighbor, he can drive his car through his neighbor's, house. So I think like for the people that are advocating for guns, they're like, it's never really the tool. It always has to start with the person. So that's why for them, they're like, eliminating the gun doesn't do anything.
Oh no, not the rich! All this money!
Well, they made fuck tons even more.
Yeah, who are we talking about when it's the rich? Because the rich has fucking killed it during this time. They're doing well.
Like middle class rich? Probably. So they're saying that it's people in a higher socioeconomic status, aka CES, which is like higher education, higher income. And those two were both, like, they've had greater declines in psychological well-being over the course of the pandemic compared to low CES people. So they were...
Because their life sucked already?
Well, if I was collecting $600 every week from unemployment and all that shit, I would have been like, yes, this is better than my job that I had before.
I had a friend who was doing it, he was making $900 a week because there was like an extra bonus, and he was happier than I've ever seen. People are dying. And he's so stoked. Yeah.
They hope this lasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're saying that individuals with higher education experience a greater decrease in depressive symptoms and a greater decrease in life satisfaction from before to during the pandemic in comparison to those with lower education. And they're saying that the reasons might be because higher education people, they tend to consume more of the news, and that might affect them more than low CES people. And also because high CES individuals, they have a strong expectation for a constant availability of resources, and so when there are declines in times of crisis, like during the pandemic, they end up getting let down.
Could also be a lot of business owners out there too, because they're like the upper whatever area or never come back.
Yeah, it was like on Yelp or something, like the businesses that have like temporarily closed are like they're in a permanent
Probably, yeah.
like a good chunk of them.
My buddy has a chain of stores, and like during that time, everyone's like, oh, the businesses, they got all these like freaking forgivable loans or whatever, right? So he got $1 million in forgivable loans. But the problem is, that's when they gave everybody unemployment and all the relief stuff, right? So no one could go back to work because he has minimum wage workers. So it's like, if you're getting minimum wage at a job, but if on unemployment you're getting $600 to $1,000 a week, you're like, fuck that, I'm not gonna go back to work. He has to spend this money within a couple of months, or else it's not forgivable.
But he can't even spend because no one's back at work.
Exactly. So she was just like, fuck, and I'm like, well, why would I want this
You
loan?
have come.
And I can't keep my business afloat because no one's gonna come and work for me. And I was like, dude, that sucks. I'm so glad I'm not that big. So glad. You got problem, bro.
Damn. But yeah, so they're all
Pretty bummer episode. This is gonna go hard.
You were so excited before this.
No, I'm just
Holding
thinking
the
about all the
paths
lives
together
lost.
were unbound.
Business is closed.
Only
Yeah,
the
my memory's
source
shattered. I just think about how much fun I'm having.
press ahead.
I would recommend people shop local.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know?
shop small.
Yeah, even though I'm on Amazon a lot. You shop local. Do what I do.
Local Amazon.
Use your local Amazon.
You know, they started, we recently drove by brick and mortar,
Amazon Books?
Fresh.
Oh, fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a store. Let's promote them and not your buddy's business.
You just walk in, you pick up items, walk out, it turns your account. You don't have to deal with the checkout person. They got
Again,
fired.
Damn.
It's all automated.
I'm afraid I need your help.
Uplifting article, right?
Unbelievably depressing.
Why are rich people so sad?
Well, they're also saying that high SAS people, they tend to have higher life satisfaction throughout their life anyway, and less depressive symptoms, which means that they have like a higher dip than success people.
Yeah, when I was at Vegas, walking up and down the strip and going to the casinos, everyone that was having a blast, they weren't rich people. They were people that were getting stimulus checks. And I could tell because it felt like I was at Walmart, not Vegas.
Oh, so you saw Walmart people all over the place.
Hell yeah, a lot. Like, it was super fucking crazy, man. People were fighting, and it was like, fighting? Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is, I mean, there's always fights in Vegas, right? But it was, okay, it was like, why is Circus at the Wynn?
I see.
That's what it felt like. And then it was weird because I'm like, you guys are just gambling this free money away. You should put it in the stocks or something.
Do you think they're
That also a gamble?
Yeah.
It's not as bad as playing slots.
You're walking into Aria though?
Come.
Holy shit!
The antechamber, the end of this.
This is incredible! This has been here the whole time?
Antechamber,
Wow!
the
If
end
you
of
sit by
this.
the door and see the people check in, that's what you will hear. Oh my god! Like, it's like...
This doesn't look like a castle at all!
They're rolling in their own coolers.
They're only used to accelerate.
Circus.
It was crazy, yeah. And I was asking the Uber driver too. He goes, "Yeah, man, it's just so different. The whole clientele." Like, he's like, "Okay, because rich people, they hide out, and then they're like super cautious, and they don't want to go and like burn money. And then like people that never had money to travel before,
They finally get
tons of extra money.
We have reached
They're
it.
just like,
Yes,
fucking Vegas is open, let's go! And then like they're just spending it all, like just having a good time. And I'm like, well, that's good for them. Shit, they get to travel now.
Hey, they're not trying to live forever, you know?
Yeah, but I was just shocked because I was like, this is why the poor stay poor, man. You're burning all your fucking money away.
Have you watched Graham Stetson videos?
Come.
Yeah.
You
He,
have
like,
your
goes in
position
on all
at the
that
end
shit.
of
Pretty
this.
good stuff.
Well, he also tells you to drink coffee for like 20 cents, right? Or something.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to Brando, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
We DM'd him. He's a nice guy.
Wait, so what does he talk about?
Oh, just financial, like not.
He's a white guy, I assume, with the name Graham.
He's like a real estate, financial investor, like type of dude. Teaches you how to like build wealth. Like that's his YouTube.
He's a real Dick Grayson looking fella. No, he's really because he's helping just everyone learn more financial education and just real estate and just basic stuff that they should be knowing.
He says it in a way that's very digestible.
Yeah.
And he goes in on like when athletes get big checks, he's like, don't just blow it on all these.
I get earrings right away.
Right. $5,000 earrings.
Yeah, big earrings. Big earrings. When I got money, the first thing I did was I bought a sports car, then I tried to save the rest. But I really wanted to buy a sports car.
Sounds like your kind of dream car.
Yeah, but like I got a lot of shit from, you know, financial planners and my people like France. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's a depreciating asset. You're gonna lose money in the long run. Blah blah blah.
Did it depreciate your heart though?
No, I get it every day, and I'm just like, cool. See,
that's
good. I have a truck too, but like, I get in the Porsche. Cool. I love it, and things matter to me like that, and that's
good though.
Or what's wrong?
I kind of feel like everyone has to go through it though. If it's in your personality, like for me, I had to do the rock star shit and just burn it to experience it and go, yeah, I got it out of my system.
Yeah.
And then for other people, maybe they never need to do it, so it's easier for them to be more disciplined, I guess. Yeah. Do any investing?
I just own homes, but that's
sick.
But I don't make money on them because I live in them and my parents live in them.
Depreciating asset.
Yeah.
Keep your hands up.
Dude, well, you know what? Once they go, I'm bringing in some serious cash on that property. But let's hope they live another few years. But if they went tomorrow, it'd be sad. But
But you know,
my revenue would go.
You see opportunity.
I see opportunity. Where I see sadness, I see opportunity.
We should talk about that later. We get really sad.
Should I? Because I know a guy who bought it, and you know him too, who bought it when it was 19,000.
Oh, 19,000. Did he go hard?
He went hard. Wow.
Losing a loved one to Alzheimer's is devastating. Prop 14 will continue groundbreaking stem cell research and dedicate funds specifically to finding treatments and cures for brain diseases like Alzheimer's.
Please join us and vote yes on 14. Thank you. It's going to 40.
Bitcoin, so when it's all gone, it should be worth $1 million.
Just think of some, like, how much more stuff.
Like, 13,000. It's not pretty bad.
That's not bad. It was like 6.
Yeah. It's just, you gotta be in it for long.
You just bought it at the wrong time.
Wrong time. But you know what? Well, the wrong time is, and over time, hopefully, he'll make money.
If it gets to $1 million, he'll make money.
Let's hope.
Yeah. I think it will, actually. I'm one of those guys.
Well, look, I'd love to, learn more about it.
We'll have a discussion.
I think it's all timing with stocks and investing and all this stuff. A lot of it is usually timing. So it just depends on when you sell and when you buy. Instead of it being like something where you're like, oh, you
What
failed.
has happened?
It's like,
Why are
looking at a
Onakatos'
small window
acolytes
of time,
attacking us?
oh,
What
obviously
has
you failed.
destroyed Idilla?
Like your buddy
We
who
must
bought it
make
for
our way
19
from
now,
Take This Shield.
he
One of my
failed
soldiers
now,
dropped it
but
when the
then when
silent
Bitcoin hits
cautious in
100
these
grand.
lands.
If he didn't sell, did he sell?
I don't know. I want to bring it up because it felt like it was a sore spot.
Did he become very sad after this?
No, he's not,
I know him too.
Is it cool? You guys know who he is?
Oh, that's even sadder.
Because he got the money. Very serious, man.
Failures, they turn into enjoyable stories they can share with their friends.
Yeah.
If you're not a comedian, you don't have any coping mechanisms, it actually hurts you personally.
Yeah, but I should tell him to go, yell at a bunch of people at a bar about it. Maybe he'll feel better.
They will. They really will.
Yeah.
Our buddy Peter and I, that's where I first bought some Bitcoin was with Mailboy. About the Bitcoin videos in 2013.
Oh, you bought one that long? So you bought it at what?
About 1,000 each.
Did you have everything?
Can't say it on there, but
Can't say it on the air. Away your entire...
Yeah, no, it's been life's been good to me.
Oh, you know what? I had heard about this. Hey, did you Steve Green's crushing things?
Yeah, you guys refer to
We do all right.
Yeah, Steve Green. Too many Steve's.
Yeah, no,
That's a lot of
I do
Steve.
not know
And then, there's another friend of ours that did the same thing. But
I
yeah,
am unsure
you
what
were
to
this
make
big
of
success story.
course. I know you have the strength we need, but Anakatos has sealed himself in the Hyperion antechamber. Anakatos was clever by that. Anakatos and his silent choir had him amassed very well.
What are you asking?
We got the FBI came and they took they seized all our assets. Shut down.
Podcast at a prison comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
When work can happen anywhere, why not take it somewhere where the workday doesn't just end?
3, 2, 1, action.
Welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want. And today we have Karen with us. Long time no see.
So good to be back.
Yes.
How long has it been?
4 years.
4? You counted the videos?
I didn't, but I know based on life things that have occurred. I know it was 4 years ago.
Should we all say 4 more years?
Back in 2024 then?
Yeah.
Wait, 4 more years?
A lot has changed since I have been in this room.
Update the room.
Well, for one, as we were saying, like, conversations have changed in the world. Just very different.
Yes.
We used to be really different.
We were children.
Children with potty mouths.
Yeah, we were
I was still in my 30s.
Yeah, I wasn't quite a child 4 years ago.
I kept my body brain numb.
But no, I quit YouTube. And then for a period, I quit YouTube.
So a lot has changed.
I directed a film that went to Tribeca last year.
Oh, shit.
I actually had met you for some reason here, and I put your Wikipedia page. Did anyone else have a Wikipedia? Yeah, that's
I've tried writing my own a few times.
me too. Write us a Wikipedia page, please.
I'll write your Wikipedia.
Did you write your own?
No, you can't really, because it's like, anyway, there's a process. It's crazy.
Yeah, I found out about your film. Right, yeah. What was that about?
It's about the future of man and machine, coevolution of man and machine. So it followed 3 patients with brain-computer interfaces.
It's like biomech kind of stuff.
Biotech, yeah. Exactly, Joe.
I saw it. It's wonderful. I was at the premiere.
He was.
Very nicely done. Yeah. For first time director too. Holy shit, dude. That thing was epic.
Oh, thank you.
We
Philistine.
We had much
It also gave me cancer.
What? No.
What do you mean? I mean, I don't know if this movie gave me cancer, but
Figuratively and literally speaking, right?
figuratively and literally speaking, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer the day that the film premiered in Tribeca.
Holy fuck.
Not diagnosed that day. I found the lump that day. And then the next week I was diagnosed. So I joke that the movie...
Did you meet Robert De Niro?
I did not.
Let's talk about the mom.
Yes, I'm going to go back there.
Have you seen Raging Bull?
I mean, Tribeca.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so the person did not pick up on the mic drop. No, he did. He's just trolling my ass. It's great.
So you're celebrating your premiere.
Yeah.
Then what was that like then to realize to find the lump and then like were you able to like fully soak in the success? No.
I was super sick leading up to the premiere day while I was in New York. I think all the stress, you know, when your body finally is like, and never give up. And so I got really sick, and my lymph nodes swelled up, and I never had that happen before. And one is right, like in the underarm, yeah. And one of them was the size of like a large golf ball. Massive, and it felt weird. And that was the day of the premiere. And I don't think you found it. I think it found you, girl. Probably. That thing's huge. It's so big, but I never noticed anything before that. There was nothing before, so it went from 0 to hero in 5 seconds. And so I got back to LA a few days later and made an appointment with the doctor. I was like, this is strange. And yeah, within 3 days they called me and they said, you need to come in, you have cancer.
Oh my god.
What was that like?
I was in denial. I was like, there's absolutely no way. I'm 33 years old. I'm super healthy. You are. This is stage 3. How is that possible?
What?
How is that possible that it's like...
How many stages?
Done. There are 4 stages.
4 is like point of no return kind of. Oh, shit.
Stage 4, there is no cure for breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, this is just, it was just a total bizarro thing. And so I said, you have to biopsy it again. I wanted to make sure they didn't swap it.
Or give it a second opinion or something.
So I did a second biopsy. It came back again. Like, no, this is definitely breast cancer. And then that was it. And I had all of these big plans. I was going to be working on a TV show, and I was going to be, which is actually good. I mean, probably take some time off, but like, I was going to be speaking and performing because I had an AI album that I had done, and so a lot of big plans for last summer that, of course, AI album? Yeah, I had done this AI album like a year earlier, but because I was working on the film, I couldn't really perform it.
Yeah.
What's an AI?
It's amazing. So she does this on her podcast. She fucking made an album with an artificial intelligence.
Like Alexa? Alexa, you duet with Alexa?
It's not like Alexa. It's actually like a software where you're like writing rules and algorithms for music.
Oh, cool.
Composing music using those parameters that you set.
Because it's already hard enough to write music by yourself. Now you have to tell something else that doesn't have a conscious being to do the job for you. That's
my question. And I think just what I was going to ask you is it like creating all the values almost, predetermining the values that come off almost, and then it kind of populates that?
Kind of. That's actually one good way of putting it. It sort of depends on the algorithm and how it's built, because there are different ones. Like I worked with IBM Watson, Google Magenta, Amper, Ava, so there's like a lot of different stuff.
I don't even know what you just said.
So IBM Watson, by the way, does fantasy football predictions, and he's awful. I can't handle Watson. I'm an anti-Watson.
Is he AI or is he a person?
He's an AI that was built by IBM. They promote him so much in commercials. He does ESPN fantasy football predictions, and he's ass. And he does trade values, like, oh, you can trade this player for this player, and it's all shit. It's all garbage. Watson sucks at fantasy, I'm sorry.
Trying to ruin everyone's fantasy league.
Yes.
At any given point when you're doing this algorithm stuff, do you say do, re, mi?
No.
No?
I mean, you could just put that in the song.
You don't even speak music to the AI?
No.
It's like auto-tune.
Code, and then I
We cannot waste time. There does not appear to be much here, but we should try near the shrine of Athene.
It's amazing. I've heard it. It's incredible.
I'll play you guys on break, 10 seconds of a song, so you can just hear. Yeah. But it was a fun experiment, and I was so excited to like get it out in the world, talking about it, and then I think a lot of cancer patients will say this. Once it's like everything is, your life is over, everything stops, everything's over. You have no idea. It was challenging. I mean, I basically became a full-time cancer researcher because I was so scared.
Is it still part of like the denial and disbelief? Where like, there's a way out of this.
I hope you didn't go on WebMD.
Yeah, and I did. I did too much research.
Stop WebMD.
First thing that you shouldn't do is your like statistical chances, you know.
We cannot waste time. There does not appear to be much here, but we have farewell.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you're the type of person that goes, I got a 10% chance. Oh yeah, 10%. That's better than 5.
Yeah. I mean, you have to just go all the positive. And here's the thing: like breast cancer treatments are so much better now than they were 20 years ago. But once it's in the lymph nodes, it's a bit scarier because it can then move to other parts of the body. So that was
yours was in the lymph nodes.
Mine was the lymph nodes, and I had a higher chance than not to continue for an entire year after the first round, which means that if that was me, I would be right now finishing chemo. A year and a half of chemo.
So what other alternatives did you take?
I did do chemo, but fortunately I landed in the other group, the one that did not have to continue. The chemo killed it all.
Oh wow! Well, you knew people who weren't so lucky.
I did, and I lost a good friend of mine 2 months ago who was also stage 3, diagnosed at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
So which is just like, you know, was another reminder because you sort of feel like after you get through it, and I did chemo, surgery, 6 weeks of radiation. I had to stay on antibody infusions through May of this year. So it was a full year of treatment. Pretty aggressive, but I'm still here. And like, hearing
How has your outlook on life like changed?
Oh,
like that crazy.
Was there anyone where you're like, I've been wanting to tell you this, fuck off?
That'd be cool.
Right? Like you just don't even hold back.
Fuck it, I'm gonna go anyway, so fuck you, and fuck you, bitch.
They say, like, I think the first few months
months after I found out that I had PCR, which means pathological response, it looks as though everything's gone, right? And the first few months after that, I felt high.
Be cautious in those areas.
And I'm not on chemotherapy, and I can like taste and see, and oh my gosh, I'm alive. And it was just so much gratitude and a little bit of that like fuck you attitude of just I don't need to get stressed out about little things. Awesome. Like, I'm here, and that was definitely a big thing I took with me. I do feel as time goes on, I lose it. Like it's like I just start to get caught up in normal people shit, just like everybody else. And like, why am I worried about my cat right now? Like I don't know, whatever the thing is. But another big thing that happened was I actually felt a strong need to want to reconcile with certain people. Amazing. Have like emotional reconciliation with people in my life who may not have been really great in whatever friendship or relationship was. So I did end up reaching out to a handful.
That's cool. I mean, you know, one thing that we can
I found this in our struggle. No doubt some, but there are also the council must be important.
While we're reconciling with people, we don't want to go out. Is today's video spot to my Postmates? And when you're alone, at home, reconciling with people, you don't want to go out. But right now, it's not safe to go out because of Corona and stuff like that. So I have my friends who live with me, and you know, I travel a lot, and I don't want to infect them or anything like that. But what they do for me is when I'm sad and alone, they'll be like, "You want some food?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, we're not gonna cook it. We're gonna order it for you."
Do they Postmate it where they're like, hey, when you guys Postmate it, you deliver it to my front door and the back door?
No, because we have a dog that bites everybody. So they'll bring it to the front, and he comes with his made-up face mask, and then he drops it off, and that's it. That's kind of how it works. But I get double Postmates, right? I get Postmate it there, and from my mate, he posts it.
Your mate does the post.
My mate aunt does the post. Yep.
So if you're like me and you start thinking about dinner while you're eating lunch and you love food, but sometimes getting into the kitchen and cooking something delicious to eat just doesn't make it on my to-do list, especially when we have kids. Sometimes you just have to time the food while you're driving back home. That's why we love Postmates. With Postmates, you can get food delivered without leaving your house or even opening your front door. With the current state of the world in mind, Postmates created no-contact deliveries where they just straight up put it on in front of your doorstep. So you open the door, the person's gone, you just bring in the food. And Postmates also offers a pickup option now from all of your favorite local restaurants. And it's so important that we support and uplift our communities right now because a lot of mom and pop shops need it. And what's the better way than ordering food?
And Postmates isn't all just burgers and sushi. I can order anything from toilet paper to phone chargers from stores like Walgreens and 7-Eleven. And Postmate will drop it off right outside my front door. Just download Postmates on iOS or Android, find your favorites, and get anything you want delivered within the hour.
For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners, that's you guys, $5 off your first 5 orders. That's 5. I lost track. For your first 7 days, to save $5 on your first 5 deliveries, download the app and use code OFF-THE-RECORD. That's code OFF-THE-RECORD for $5 off your first 5 orders. So you can look like a baller in front of your date. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. Thank you.
Taryn, thank you for letting us use your experience as a segue.
I don't know. I didn't know what to do.
And if you don't mind, we would like to move on now.
Yeah. I want to
Wait. Team for commercial.
Here's a great intro for advertisement.
I still need to know.
Can I just say one thing though, guys?
Yeah,
Sorry,
sure.
one thing to just close it out. Today is actually the 1-year anniversary of me finding out.
What?
Celebrate with you guys.
I don't want it to end though. Not like that. Like I want to hear more.
No, we're moving on, Joe. We're talking about.
I want to hear more.
Consideration. It was just tee up a commercial.
We had to our spot at the time. I haven't known it.
No, jokes aside, I think it's really beautiful that you wanted to go back and reconcile.
That's thank you. Keep going.
Because I feel like it's really healthy. I feel like it's really healthy because, yeah, like you carry this like heaviness in your heart. And I think when you do feel in that moment where you think maybe this is it for me, like what would I regret? And it's those conversations.
Did you ever go you know, like really call and get I just want to get a try here. Did you ever go you know what? It seems like the end of the road is pretty close. Let's go skydiving, heroin, do all the crazy shit.
When I was in the middle of my rounds of chemo,
Yeah.
it was
it was honestly the worst feeling I've ever, like, physically been through.
Like pain?
Pain, just like, I mean, you feel like your body's rotting from the inside out. I actually, on Instagram, I made a couple posts where I went into detail while I was going through it, and people were like, thank you for, like, we don't really know what chemo's like. You just sort of see the hair loss, and that's it. But it was so bad, and I thought if I had to do this for another year, I couldn't. I'd rather die.
What does that feel like?
And I felt that way. I mean, you never know. Of course, every time you, like, come out of it, you like, you do the thing, it punches you in the gut for a couple weeks, then you start to feel better, and you feel just good enough to go back in and do it again. And so I think that's just how the cycle is.
It's like a boot camp.
Yeah.
They're so strong. That's pretty great. There's like Swedish angels make them feel like no.
It's rough.
Would you say that you have a different perspective? Obviously, you have a different perspective on life. Could you describe like what that is, just for people who have not experienced anything like that?
Do you want to call in one of you fucking little bitches out there?
Yeah.
Little bitches fucking play a little
Shit, I feel invincible, so I want to hear from someone who's actually gone through something like that.
I really find it hard to not still experience joy every single day.
But you appreciate it?
When I was going through it, I went through a breakup, having to move into a new home. I moved into a new home and had for everything was small. And then the pandemic hit 2 weeks later. And I felt like this terrible, no good year that just kept getting worse and worse and worse. But the craziest thing is through all of it, no matter how gut-wrenching it was, I was just so grateful to be here.
Wow.
And I just still feel that. Like, it just, even when the burglary happened, they stole my laptop, my hard drives, everything. I was like,
at least I'm alive.
I legitimately was like, this is just stuff. It doesn't make stuff not hard, but it just rolls off of me differently.
Do you have family in LA too?
They're in Kansas.
So you were just kind of dealing with everything on your own, or you moved back home?
No, I was here in LA because I have such a great group of friends. And the best medical care is in LA, and so they came out a lot, yeah. So they're great.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. Anytime I go through some shit now, I'm gonna think, what would Taryn do?
Yeah, frankly, she's a fucking successful actress, by the way, director. You fucking conquered a whole field of AI. Like you were doing a lot more in AI than people even know. I know that. You beat cancer. I mean, you were a tough son of a bitch, I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you this, in the 4 years of you going through that, I didn't do a damn thing.
I know.
Yep, we're still a shitty office, like nothing changed. Babies.
Oh yeah, but I didn't do that.
Just another baby.
I mean, how many babies were born a year?
I was a baby.
So I try to tell Tim all the time, I'm like, you're a mother, congrats. Fucking 3 billion people have done it this year.
Right, and it's not special at all.
So funny.
So yeah, I see why you bring up the past 4 years being very different.
They're really
You've gone
different.
through a lot. Wow, that's crazy.
I feel like I've aged a few years.
You're wiser. I feel like it's wisdom.
Yeah.
I feel like you've gone to places in your mind and emotionally that most people don't ever get to go to. So like way later, I feel like. So
when you're in chemo, is there like a hierarchy? Like, you know, like in jail, it's like, oh, you just a burglar? I'm a killer. Like, are there different hierarchies of cancer where you're like, you pussy ass mouth cancer bitch?
Yes.
Who the pussy is that?
I never on a cottage had him
No,
alive.
it's actually funny that you say this. I don't remember where I found it, but there was some kind of cancer stand-up that I watched while I was going through treatment from some patient who was like ranting about all of the cancer patients who have it easy.
Yeah.
There's like people that will like, this just sounds so bad. I don't want to, but I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. When you tell people like what you're going through, and then they're like, oh, my sister, you know, she had stage 0 pre-cancer cells, and she had to have them removed, and you want to like be empathetic, like
what's that even? I want to find out.
is that like being pre-diabetic?
It's as if it's like the equivalent of you guys saying like you lost a child.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, oh, we experienced that when our little David, like, you know, got into a bicycle
on the floor.
or something, right?
I don't know.
There's just a very, I want to hear her example. There's just a very different level of experience that one goes through. And even with
so they're trying to be nice to relate.
No, not everyone has to do radiation. It just sort of depends on where you're at and the treatment that's required. And then within types of chemotherapies, they're very different. Some regimens are much more aggressive than other regimens. I mean, it's poison, but sometimes they have to really, depending on the receptors of the cancer.
It kills the good stuff and the bad stuff, right? That's why it's like so painful.
Which is always right from the inside out.
Yeah, I mean, you're feeling all of it die, and the smells, like, it's like your body rotting.
Like you smell weird too?
Yes.
Where does the smell come from? Like, what is that? Or is it just glands?
Any gland, any orb, I mean, just like everywhere, you're just sipping it.
So they did a whole cancer stand-up night? Like all the patients get together and it's I don't know, that's a tough room.
Some patient did something online that I watched, and I can't even remember. You also like develop amnesia because it's just the whole thing is so crazy. But I would find all these different resources. There's also another woman who did a breast cancer stand-up that was really, really funny. But I found stand-up to be like my favorite thing. And especially when people make jokes about cancer, for some reason, I loved it. And so I started telling jokes about my cancer. Like I went to a party and they were like, everybody say like a fun fact about you that nobody knows. And I was like in a really good mood, and this is halfway through my chemo is when I was feeling good. And I stood up and I was like, hi, I'm Taryn, I have cancer. So it may not be up here very long.
Solid. Dude, imagine.
And everyone was silent.
Like, should we laugh? I don't want to laugh.
I was like, I thought it was funny. You know, like.
Imagine you're doing cancer stand-up night because you gave me that idea, thank you. And you give one of the comedians the light. You think they're gonna fucking listen? Like, oh no, I got way bigger problems than your stupid light. 1 minute then.
Yeah, so that was healing for me to use humor.
That's awesome.
And just be like, yeah, I might die. Like, I don't know.
Laughter's the best medicine.
The city seems intact. Still, the henge has already... It is only a matter of time before he finds a way to destroy... Our case requested specifically that we go to the shrines of earth and air, but there are two sites in the wilderness, touched by the gods. One on the peaks of the T. These are called the shrines of earth and air. I thought we could say for sure, but we have little else to act on. Farewell.
Action. Alright, let's talk about this Italian woman who got caught spiking her co-workers' coffee, and she was like fucking drugging her up.
With what? With the good stuff?
Gasoline.
It's Somali. Pepperoni Somalio.
What does that mean? Somali? MDMA, Somalio. I literally can't do that accent for the life of me.
What?
You just did that.
It's the same as
MDMA.
That's it.
That's all you gotta do. I can't even do accents. You're nailing it.
It's just a cadence.
That was something else. That's pretty good about it. Italian people, we love you. All right, no, we love. I'm 1% Italian. No. Okay, so she was drugging her for 9 months with benzodiazepine powder, which is like Xanax or Valium.
Benzodiazepine powder.
Yes.
12% active ingredient.
So this lady named Mariangelena. I added an L, but I mean an N. It's Mariangela. Mariangela.
That sounds fun.
I know. Sorry. I got carried away too. Carried away. You're killing it. Okay, no more. Okay, so she's 53 years old, and she started drugging her victim after hearing rumors about job cuts at the insurance firm that they both worked at. And so she started offering to do daily coffee runs for her team. And then that's when she would spike her colleagues' cappuccino.
So they all get fired. She goes, I got to keep my job. They die.
She was targeting one specific victim.
Why her? Why targeting that one person?
I don't know what her issue is with her, or was with her, whatever. So this drug induces fatigue, headaches, dizziness, and muscular pain.
Oh shit.
And then so this person, what was her name? Angela. She was drugging her victim in order to slow down her work rate.
What? She's too much of a hard worker.
Probably, because she was trying to get her fired because she heard of job cuts.
Wait, but doesn't Xanax make you focus and work better?
Xanax? No, it calms you down.
Oh, Adderall. Sorry, I don't do drugs.
That's obvious.
I need to do drugs. For 50% off your Adderall. No, I don't do drugs. But,
so after months of suffering a lot of symptoms, the woman ended up crashing her car into a tree on her way home from work.
Oh my God.
So then that's when she was like, what the fuck? So she went to the hospital. They were analyzing her, and like they suspected that she might have had a stroke or something. But they were like, no, you're perfectly healthy. Nothing's wrong.
We got hella drugs in her system.
No, they didn't know that yet. So then she said like this one particular day, like that particular day when she crashed into the tree is that usually she'll sip onto her cappuccino, but that one day she just drank it all in one gulp.
Anyone
And
has
then
walked
that's
these
when
halls
like
since
she
they
ended
were
up losing
first
her
shipped. I do
balance
not
and
know
she
if
walked
the
towards
earth
her
is
desk.
a
She
light
said
in this
everything
gloom
was
is
black.
welcome.
It felt like I was floating.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, how did she not realize it? Because doesn't Xanax have the opposite effect of caffeine? So, like, you're just not even getting, like, woke at all.
Oh, so now you're a Xanax expert, huh?
Thank you, Mark. No, but then how did she not notice, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, she did realize something was off. So then that's when it's like, what the fuck? So then that's when she started becoming suspicious of this one particular coworker because she just kept like pushing, like, oh yeah, I'll just go grab you a coffee, like, drink up your coffee, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Your cappuccino and shit.
Kind of obvious.
And then, so then that one day she was like, fine, like I'll take the coffee. And then so she drank half of it, and then she saved the other half and she put it in like a tube thing. She went to go get it tested, and they revealed that she had 10 times the amount of that sedative that is usually advised to be used. And so she got caught red-handed there.
So what did she do? Go to the Italian police?
She did. She went to the police that is in Italy, yes.
So, okay. Right, they do the cappuccino specific crimes.
We don't want to go to the French police.
Correct.
No.
French roast.
Yeah. Okay, you take the banana.
And a French banana.
Italian bullshit.
Y'all are really good.
These are just the most basic stereotype. This is Mario accent. Italian accent.
Do it again.
He's just so
The way you said jurisdiction was very interesting. Do it again.
That was my last line in my last movie.
You like don't move your teeth.
Let's do the nose. The nose in the back of these toes.
Yeah, because my character had braces, he couldn't move his mouth.
Wait, what is Dracula?
Romanian.
I don't want to do that. That's not.
Get Romanian.
That's the Godfather.
If Robert De Niro was a vampire, or Al Pacino, I don't. Gosh, I've never seen it.
A vampire?
Godfather. Have you seen it?
Shit, who's the main actor? We got a blink.
No, that's Oh, fuck. I'm thinking freaking
Casino?
no.
Analyze this.
Something feels strange that
Frank, can you know me?
Scarface. I was thinking Scarface.
That's Cuban.
I literally was thinking Scarface.
Cockroaches?
Yeah, that's all I know.
Say hello to my little friend.
Al Pacino was in Godfather 2, so... True.
Say
He was.
So was Robert De Niro, right? Yeah, it's not
Yeah, he's in
wrong.
like all of them. Anyway, so
They're the same person.
So, yeah.
The young ones,
So what's
yeah.
that? All right. Well,
that's fucked up.
once she went to the Italian police, that's when.
That's how we got here.
Yeah.
Cappuccino cops.
That's when she was arrested, and
Wow.
then so she's denying drugging her colleague, and her lawyer said that she would appeal her 4-year sentence. Which I forgot much about.
So, it makes you think like how easy it is to drug someone. It's like, oh, go to Starbucks. You want anything? It's that degree.
Totally. Yeah.
But you don't think your friends are coworkers gonna drug you.
Yeah, that's true.
Trust no one. That's trust no one.
Right. I mean, if a stranger was like, hey, I'm gonna get your coffee, I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Yeah. If anyone else here, I'm like, oh, sure.
That's why you have to let no one into your life.
That's true. Don't let anyone. If a stranger offers me coffee, I'd take it.
Really?
Just to throw it in the face.
Do you guys eat food from fans at meet and greets?
Nope.
No? Yes.
Wait, what do you mean? They give you food?
Yeah.
Oh, like cupcakes? I made cupcakes.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's some Tim Tams from Australia that I'm like, oh, thank you.
I feel you. Because I've definitely eaten, like, that thought wasn't in my mind of, like, oh, this could be, like, tainted with something. Because I've definitely eaten, like, some homemade shit from fans. And they're like, oh, this is really good, like, cookie or whatever.
What if they came in?
Yeah, what if they came in?
Well, that's everywhere, though. Restaurants, in general. We just don't know anything.
Do you?
No. Okay, you remember what you were going to say?
Yeah, I do.
Sure?
But you want to go?
Oh.
What's going on here?
I wasn't sure. That's just reading the vibes. I don't know.
He's over here like, what?
No.
I was late on the thing part.
We could.
So late on that.
We could.
I didn't say what you were going to say.
When you ate these homemade treats, were you alone in your hotel room, or were you eating it in front of them, and were you alone, or what was it?
Usually watching it, like, you know,
Oh, but I probably just took it back to the room or whatever. Yeah.
They did a reaction video, a little song.
makes it pass out.
What's yours?
Because sometimes they'll bring in, like, the straight up, like, the thing, like, you know, like, back, like, maybe a few years ago on JK News, all we ever talked about was McDonald's, right? So at every meeting, I got you guys McDonald's. I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. And then they're like, no, they're going to get some chicken nuggets. And I'm like, oh, shit, great. You have one first.
And I'm never like, what?
Right.
Yeah, right? And they're like, hey, what's that?
No, you know what's interesting though? I keep saying trust no one, but I actually do trust pretty fucking easily, especially when it comes to food. Like, but it makes you think, especially in the COVID culture, like how germs are so easily, like, you know, you can't trust anything people give you now. Food. Like, if right now a fan saw you and like gave you a 6-pack of, you know, cake pops, and you'd be like,
Yeah, no, I don't even let these motherfuckers touch me now.
you know, I don't know if that wasn't what I was gonna say. Let's go back to that. I really forgot what I was gonna say.
Can we just have that moment again?
Yeah, I really forgot. You're kissing strangers now. You know, back then, come on, Joe
We're not
knows.
strangers. We just met today.
Joe knows, right? True. Joe knows. You know.
What does Joe know?
He knows.
But even like when you're out at like, you know, back in the day when you're out at clubs or whatever, some, you know, like, yo, bro, I got you a drink or
Right.
you know?
Sharing drinks. I was the queen of sharing drinks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you have to try this. You have to try this. You would never do that now.
Yeah, no, never.
Even within family a little bit, just because, you know, like, you don't know what everyone's, like, pre-existing tradition is. So, like, my kid, Taika, his uncle was over, and then I guess he drank something, and then the fact that he was going to pass it to his uncle, even I felt kind of weird. Like, oh, wait, let me just pour your own. You know, they are kind of all family, but it's just, I don't know, it's just the new thing. It's weird.
I wondered if we'll ever, like, we'll recover from that. Do you think we'll
PTSD?
Yeah, do you think we'll be germaphobes forever, or
I never was.
what about now?
For me, it's not towards me.
You gotta say yes, Joe, to make
Right.
it feel
For me, it's towards other people. Like, for me, I'll still drink and eat everything. It was from Taika's cup to his cup. Like, so for me, trying to, like, be courteous to other people, like, that's what I was worried about. For me, like, I don't really give a fuck.
I think I'll be shaking hands with.
Right, that's another thing too. It's like, do I need to hug everyone in real life? What the hell? Like, why are we hugging so fucking much?
I know.
You know what I mean?
It was so odd because this morning I was just like, I immediately came and I was like, it's so weird because I haven't hugged a person other than like immediate friends, but like strangers.
No, I hugged. Well, I told Bart no hugging, but then you know, I'm just very huggable looking. You know, I'm very huggable looking.
Really just
You lied to me.
Yeah, I did like.
Asked
But
her,
even
like,
I didn't even give you a full hug.
didn't.
Wait, now let's do it because I feel like we need. Oh yeah, come here.
It's made me uncomfortable.
It was kind of like one of these like she put her mask on.
Casey is so jealous right now. No.
I want to be over there.
No, but hugs. What was I saying? my mom and I had not hugged for 7 months, and because my grandpa lives with her, and I'm doing this. She has a restaurant. It was a lot. So.
But our road to Anacatos forced us to solve this
So she
riddle.
had to get the rapid test, so she was
Seems
good,
more
and I
than
was good.
coincidence.
So we finally hugged, and she just wouldn't even let me go. No, and then she
Not
started
simple.
crying, and especially because it was right after we did the shoot, so she was like, "You're all grown up," and like it was just like such a beautiful moment, and I started crying. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, Mom."
Did you guys start kissing too or no?
I only make out with my dad.
Man, this episode was fire!
What is it?
Is that a swing seat?
Let
Why
us
does it
finish this.
hasn't been What happens now? As a collection of buttons, free access today at WSJ.com.
It's another ad. Steve, you hear me say watch ESPN Live on Hulu? Know that? Hey everybody, and welcome to ABS News. Well, first, word from our What's wrong with you? My back hurts. What is that? What are you smuggling back there?
You talking about my wallet? What do you mean?
What is this? You have receipts for everything you've ever purchased in here.
Just in case.
These $2. Why do you only have $2 bills?
It's an investment, okay? Stop.
Is this Vietnamese dong?
Well, some massage bars only accept
Yes.
those.
What do you need of me? Very well.
Whoa! We planning for a busy weekend?
Well, Costco's having a great deal. We couldn't pass it up.
This Costco's card expired 2 years ago.
Can you just put everything back, please? Jeez.
You need to get rid of most of this crap. Upgrade your wallet, man. It's 2020. Here, check this out. It's my extra wallet. It's sleek. It's not gonna hurt your back. Here's everything that you need.
Guys, check out how cool it is up close. Here's the extra wallet. It's so sleek. It's so cool. You can use this box wallet design. Flip up your cards. You can easily grab them. It is just, I get so many compliments out when I use this wallet. And guys, I've actually been using this wallet for the past year. Here is the one that I've been using for a year. I wanted to make sure that it held up to the test of time because I loved it so much. I would never, ever go back to those big bulky wallets. I don't know what you got now, but I do think you deserve an upgrade. And this one I can give a badass seal of approval to. Click those links below if you want 20% off at extra.com/Angry Joe Show.
When migraine strikes, there's quick dissolve Nurtec. Don't take it when allergic to Nurtec.
Wallets up! The easiest to sell ever, guys. These are the coolest freaking wallets. In fact, I love mine so much. I actually had it
Yes.
customized.
What do you need of me? Farewell.
Here's mine. You guys can get it in a variety of colors. Seriously, if you're looking for a gift, holidays are coming up. And blue is the perfect gift. We have a percent off your own link down below, guys. I'm telling you, I've used this. I seeked out and sold. Okay, I used this for a year. Made sure that it was, it could handle all the roughness of this, right? And I got so many compliments. This is my favorite wallet ever. Will never go back. The box when I'm game. Boom, bam. Don't carry cash. Just, what do you want? What is that? Yeah, I know. It's a gadget. I just love gadgets. If you love gadgets like me, at least try the wallet. Check it out. It's freaking sweet. Well, guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually carry cash in mine too. I mean, I've got these business cards. You can get seven cards in here, and if you've got extra ones, you put them in the little side flap. So seriously,
metal and the interiors are really sturdy. So there's a bunch of just really sturdy.
Yeah, full disclosure, I bought a Ridge one first, and I bought this one. Take these guys out. Guys, seriously. Yes, they are.
Alright, let's jump right into the news. We talked a little bit about PUBG in India and how the India versus China, like where India was seemed to be cracking down on apps, Chinese apps, that were risks of people's data getting leaked out. Now, some of these are Tencent games, and Tencent is an independent company that somehow, sometimes, the information from their company gets leaked to government agencies, and so whether or not they're the same agency or not, we're not going to get into. But there's a lot of countries that don't like that. Now, India was one of them. And so, as of yesterday, 2 days ago, PUBG Mobile will cease operations in India. 118 apps targeted by banned by the Ministry of Electronics. They're just saying that ow. Yeah, absolutely. In addition to that, a Bangalore-based studio announced a FAUG, so FOG, which will be exactly the same type of game. They're like, oh, they're out. We're going to put our own game out to fill the void. To kind of fill
the cipher was heard again. I thought this all was to bring Anakatos to his... Very well. I listen. What can I do? Very well.
And now you're going to be able... Now, obviously, if they've violated some of their country's guidelines, information sharing, all that stuff, it makes sense. But if it's simply like, I'm going to shut down your company so that my Indian company can replace you, and I create a little bit of a monopoly here for my game only, that's not what we here in the States would like to do.
So, according to the government, the Indian government protected user data. This is actually protecting user data is a top priority, and we always provide user data. So they said that, look, we didn't do nothing. We never had any issues. Now, if you've missed some of our previous stories, these games make $7 million a day. A day. Every single day.
That's what I'm saying. It must have been a big hit.
I don't think we got a free
They're losing all their clientele there. It's like,
and India is one of the largest markets in the world, one of the top 5, and so this is a big deal. Now, they're going to have to decide, is this market worth changing things, or can Tencent even change enough, if there is that relationship between the government, the Chinese government and Tencent, they may not be able to change. But I expect stuff like this to keep coming. I mean, in the U.S., there's whispers of more regulations on Chinese apps and like how money can flow between them. Yeah. And there's bad rumors. They turned out not to be true about like the U.S. banning certain Chinese games. Right. But that's how those. Donald Trump is going to be League of Legends. It's like no. So this is something that China's been doing a major push in technology. All of this media, and as they continue to add more video games, data, I expect this to be a recurring segment where we're like, all right, this country now banned this one. So, crazy. Speaking of data mining, Oculus Quest 2 pre-orders were 5 times higher than Oculus Quest. So a lot of people are buying the Quest 2. You got it.
Yeah, it's a good freaking system and does exactly what I want, but it is permanently tied to Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook!
Great, wonderful, thanks a lot. And there was no way around it, and I thought there was a way around it, but we had read a previous article ourselves that said that, those requirements won't be until 2023, and I was hoping by 2023, maybe Facebook stock will fall apart, and then there'll be some things that help push that.
don't post anything bad.
Right, then you lose access.
If you lose your Facebook account, you lose all your games.
Social media poster. Do you make any shit post? If you made that shit post,
OJ is shitlord.
You're done. If you're a shitlord, you're done.
Oh yeah, OJ's always on Facebook just making stuff up.
Yeah, but it sucks, and I don't use it. I don't really use it very often, and because I'm just so familiar with the whole idea of the fact that it's
well, from the tech side, this is potentially very exciting. So Mark Zuckerberg wants to have 10 million active VR units within Oculus. And so as companies continue to invest in the infrastructure...
You know how he could get there is remove that restriction.
You remove that Facebook shit. But as all of these companies, Valve gets into it, Oculus continues to grow, we actually may see, we like VR.
Yes.
We think that VR has been, I think personally that VR has been completely underutilized, and for years was just a gimmick that didn't really add much. But now we're getting to the point now where these games are designed for VR in mind, and they're incredible. They're everything that we want. And I want to consider...
Yeah, guys, 10 out of 10 from me with the VR, with the
Yeah, absolutely. So as VR becomes something that we develop the infrastructure is there, it may actually be something that VR is forever, where it's not just a 1% thing.
Well, this is what I wanted forever. Yeah. The Quest 2 is what I wanted forever. I said, I want to fucking put things in. I wanted inside-out tracking, and I wanted just all in the headset. What if it was you're in the headset, and the batteries and everything, you don't have to do shit. Just play. Play, at a hotel, you play on the plane, you can play anywhere.
I don't know, you would be just sitting next to
It is. And I wanted like, when I made that pre-order, I was like, man, I can't wait, to push this VR content and do this. But then as soon as that Facebook subscription came in, I'll get that stuff. All right, with maybe I'll do something. And then when it said, no, you do nothing except for fucking, put yourself on Facebook and tie everything that you own to Facebook. And I was like, I'm out.
Well, it has to be an active Facebook account, so you can't just make a fake one because they're deleting those accounts, and then you're losing those things. So,
but that's a little trumped up because I'm sure you can put a Facebook account, you can start an account, you can post one or two things, and then you're good to go. And then never do it. But there is that small nagging feeling in the back is my account going to get deactivated because I haven't posted on it forever. And that should not be in the gaming equation.
Definitely not.
So if you're ever wondering why I have not put out a review of that VR headset, it's just not only is it that I don't have time, a lot of family's been in, but also I just don't like the idea of with such a shitty restriction.
Yeah.
But maybe it might be in the future.
According to Steam, VR is still sub 2% of all its users. We'd like to see that rise and rise. I mean, that gives 10% of developers to start taking VR seriously.
Oh shit, man, you get 10, 20, you're going to get some
amazing stuff because that's when the money comes in. So exciting things to look at. Alright, Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six delayed. So their games kind of suck. And then in addition to the COVID thing is their Breakpoint was not very good. And all of our games kind of feel like that. And so they're like, we're gonna delay everything. We're gonna push it back. They're gonna even rename things to stupid things. Bad things. But all of their games make sense. And so in some ways, I admire them. They realize that they were half-baked ideas that were uninspired. But now, we're getting to the worst that Far Cry and so these two titles getting pushed back. Is this another thing for Ubisoft where they're just going to continue?
Yes. What do you need of me?
Farewell. Things that are coming up, but these are big titles for them. They really needed this because they're not in a good situation.
Yeah. Discovery that delay doesn't really seem to have resulted in much. Didn't really seem to result in much. The first time I literally started.
Yeah, it's worked to computer. Yeah.
So anyway, more on that.
Yeah. So for the second half this year, so for 6, just increases on frustrating some of those things.
Let us finish this.
It's just we're gonna have to wait and see, and that's what we've been saying for about a year. Is we just have to wait and see. There's still more bad
streamers, they've always been influencers or when we trash their games.
Better improve on this. This is how we go.
They got really good community, but they got really good ties in Let me finish playing. We'll see what happens, but it's not looking entirely
We are it's been a shit year. I don't think anything is like it's going to come out this.
Hey, stop. No spoilers. We're not done with this episode. Alright, speaking of games that did really well, Genshin Impact. You don't know how much money it made? It's not so much. Just on so much!
Why?
$245 million in 1 month. Just for cell phones. That's on mobile alone. Remember, this is also on all the consoles.
I see a few people are talking about Genshin Impact.
Gotcha game.
It's a gotcha game on PlayStation.
So it's on PC and PS4. And so these numbers, the 250 million plus, doesn't include PC sales, PS4 sales, or Android sales in China. So that number could be way higher. 1 month.
We see a lot of people say, "Oh, you should play this." No, that's not part of the game.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to do all that stuff.
So Genshin Impact is a great example of how Chinese developers are succeeding in the West by focusing on high production value, popular gameplay mechanics, and deep progression systems.
Proper gameplay mechanics. So maybe they're getting smarter. They're going to combine it's you click. Well, nobody gonna fucking play that, right? And they're like, I want to reach real gamers. So here's some good graphics. Here's a few gaming mechanics that works right. Oh yeah, but I still have all the gotcha mechanics.
Yep. 250. It's one of the largest mobile game launches ever.
I didn't know about this one because I stay away from that shit.
Oh, people come in and chat all the time. Are you
I
gonna do this? You play this?
As loot boxes or wishes. Genshin Impact's version of the loot boxes. Genshin Impact Saga with $1,000 blowout is now calling it predatory because YouTuber Michael M. Cash went viral. $1,000 to buy a character named Clee. In a free-to-play game, he spent $2,000.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Are you out of your mind?
You just read it right there.
Are you out of your mind?
It's free to play, Joe.
Hey, what? Joe!
Trying to be serious. No.
I know what you're trying to do. Not long after spending those thousands of dollars,
I thought you had. It is the fate of my people that must be changed, not their price.
No shit.
The Hyperion. She has taught me much.
Spent $2,000. This sucks.
How
I
I
get a refund.
can
What do I do that for?
Once I thought but I was beckoned.
We told you multiple times, don't do it. You did it to yourself. That's on you.
So the other scary thing is this being close to
Feel my wrath. Witness my strength.
So I hate to be the guy that's standing on the corner but I'm here, and I'm not saying for a long time. As
Baron's embrace.
$7 million.
A day! And then these, like, we're talking in this one,
Feel my wrath.
Let's make the bullshit game where you have to click this button that gives you $3 every time you want to do something. And that's the word. Yes, do all. So, until people start spending money on stuff, this could be, you know, it's steering the game in its
Witness my strength.
I think if someone sits in 254 million just on, and that doesn't include the other numbers, so it's probably well over 300 million in their first month. Wow. So, all right, you ready for some more good news?
No. Stop it.
We got other good news.
Go ahead. Fuck it. I'm already at my limit here.
Cyberpunk's delayed.
I can't even find Joe's number. I'm so fucking pissed.
Okay, so if you've been living under a rock, or you only get your news from us, one, thank you. And two, Cyberpunk 2077, its third delay pushes it to December 10th. So
you knew that. You knew that.
No. We still get people who are like, hey, Cyberpunk got delayed? No, never heard of it. All right, so it happened earlier this week. They pushed it 21 days from this month into the beginning of next month. Now, for a lot of people, this doesn't have a huge impact. But for some people, it has it's massive, right? I have friends who they don't have a lot of time for days off. They've got families and schedules, especially around the holiday times, and they've already booked their vacation, and they're like, I'm gonna chill out for this whole week.
Yeah, because you have to ask at least 2 weeks ahead.
And they're like, sure, you got it. And they're like, hey, boss, can I change it? It's like, you want to change your 1 week long vacation during the holidays?
Get out of here!
Absolutely not. Good luck on your vacation. Play Watch Dogs. What are you gonna do during that week? Genshin Impact. Spend $2,000. Should be there. So, people were pissed, and this, of course, story is actually
Onakatos has been killed without its magic to support
people were hugely upset. Psychopaths decided to go to Twitter, send death threats, because that's what they do.
Never fucking send death threats. It's so common sense. But these morons do it because they're morons. There's always going to be on the internet. Yeah. So
are you
for
sure?
Anybody to be surprised or shocked by that at this point is not. It's crazy. But at the same time, you still have to take those seriously. You still have to like, dude, fucking stop it.
This also pissed people off because they announced that it was gold and said, hey, look, the game is done, the bulk of the development is done, and all the work is done. Match.
But there was that tweet where the guy's like, I took off work. Are you
sure?
Are you sure? And then, yeah, you're sure. And then later on, they come back with something.
Not that later on, the next day. The very next day. So, hey, might have leaked this. So, now this has a lot of implications. CD Projekt Red's stock price. We talk a little about how
they're making a bit of money. So.
Well, they became the largest video game company in Europe. They passed Ubisoft for a period of time, which was huge for them because ultimately they made one. I mean, they basically made a bunch of games. They were good games. They made one big successful game, and it was so good and so successful. People loved it so much they became the largest video game company in Europe. Their stock has dropped 25% in 2 months, which just
they don't get over the recovery.
It may, but that 25% of a $6-7 billion company.
There's a lot of money. I did not realize that there would be one more announcement like that.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a lot of money. Let's say if you're one independent man.
I hear you.
Yeah, Zuckerberg's gonna come out, put all my money in there, and it's just like, it's like that's not
It's coming back. I think that's right.
It is done at last. The fate of Anacatos, the celebrant of all the Colossi savagery, has been shifted. And as his fate was shifted, so was the fate of all the Colossi. Gone is the taint of savagery and barbarism.
Has been building, and you're kind of making it a little harder on yourself when you go to it would have been better when you get that first announcement. Especially
thy work for me has finished, Beckon. Thou alone could do this. And as thou aided me, I am forever grateful. Thou hast freed this people. Thee, Anacatos, Arcades, beckoned, all. At the last, your faithful companion, Secunda, I beckon now. Her people be leaded for the glory that lies ahead. Secunda will be Primos.
The delay happened is because of the next-gen consoles. So they announced that they attributed the most recent delay to the release of so they're set up it's just the next-gen versions will come out, right? Yeah, so the current gen consoles to optimizing the game for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So I imagine for new PCs, because the Xbox One, they're powerful consoles, but I mean they're still nowhere near what like a normal computer is. And so in order to make this game run on an Xbox One and a PS4, especially the older version PS4s, this game is difficult. So speaking to the company's investor, CD Projekt Red CEO said that it's ready for the PC and runs great on next-gen consoles. However, some very final optimization processes for such a massive and complex game requires a bit of additional time. So I think that they were worried that the majority of people are playing it on tech issues with frame rates and well, anything that improves it goes. But it wasn't going to come back in so PS4 people and Xbox One people are ruining
And you've seen what has happened. The Hyperion saw. We can never thank you. You have given us so much. I see the compassion. What Archie said to me on our last day together. These are no accidents. And as you were beckoned to save my people, now I am beckoned to lead them. I may for a time, but while I can, I should give now. Let us return to the city together, Beckon. Let us farewell.
Well, that's all we got for this one. Make sure you check out the next video to come. And also check out Extra.
Yes,
go to extra.com/Angry Joe Show. There's leather wallets. There's great aluminum ones. They've got a variety of products. You know,
if you're a fool like me, you got this. You never lose your wallet.
yeah, that is kind of OJ loses everything. And so then you have the art. He can his wallet.
Track it here. All right, guys, click those links down below. It's a great gift. And thank y'all so much for watching this one. We'll see you in video dose. Bye, guys.
My mom wanted to build us a good life. Supporting 3 kids alone, she earned her degree. Then I worked 3 jobs while at the same community college. It's time for leaders who know what it's like to feel squeezed, especially now.
God showed us a vision, and then one night, He gave us the power to claim it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Upgrade to the Gold Edition and get the Season Pass.
I hope you are well.
Hey everybody, and welcome to AJS News. This is video number 2 of 2.
Flat.
They secured the dimensions and we're making attachable faceplates so you can do all the huge variety of colors and designs. PS5, PB5. Sony is threatening legal action against a faceplate company. So they announced that the faceplates come off and that, that there would be customization options. So a company went out, they secured the dimensions and were making attachable faceplates so you could do all the huge variety of colors and designs. And Sony said no, absolutely not. Even though there's a patent pending, they don't have a patent yet on those things. Sony contacted the company and said, look, we know you sold a bunch of them, but no. And if you sell any of them, we will sue your ass. And so a lot of people were excited because they wanted, their favorite game characters. They wanted to have things on it. Actually looked kind of cool. But the fun police, they had within the legal right, apparently, said no. So no, you can't do that. If you wanted something cool, like this logo,
Create custom. Yeah, wait until.
You probably get buy stickers. Yeah, Sony will probably do it, but any third party, they're coming after this certain
If we don't
place.
stop Peter, who knows what will happen to us?
I can modify it any way I want.
You can, but the company is selling you that thing.
But they're suing them because that product is going to be used on a product that is now mine. So correct.